Don't trade on a Monday, don't trade on a Friday, don't trade in August, don't trade in December, just don't trade. All of these are just BS myths that hold you back without looking at the numbers, without looking at the data. When was the last time that you said things like this and then went and tested your own system? More often than not, it's a mentality issue or it is a system issue. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is bad for you to trade in August. Maybe that's a real thing. But then you've got to ask yourself, why is your system so fragile that you can't trade in a singular month? The reality is you need something that is dynamic. You need something that you can trade on a regular basis, regardless of the day, regardless of the month. And it is this thinking that destroys traders' careers. Like right now, we're in the summer. All you need to do is lock in for one summer. Meanwhile, traders are planning their holidays. They're thinking about taking time off in August. I want you to go back over your data. Go back over August, last 3-4 years in a row. You will see momentum. So are you gonna miss out again and make the same mistake that you made last year, or are you ready to lock in?
So let's take a look here on the charts. I think part of a lot of traders' problems is giving in to a lot of these myths. And because you hear it, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. It gives you excuses without running the data. And I would have thought, especially as traders, like you back test, you look at these things, how on earth can you say in the same breath that August is a bad month to trade or the summer is a bad month to trade? Yet you're clearly looking at the data, like you're looking at the dates. So I thought, right, I'll go back through some pairs because maybe I thought, am I being biased because I trade multiple different asset classes and I looked through at least 12 different asset classes, all come to the same conclusion. So I think a lot of you are holding yourselves back just because you hear someone randomly say one thing. So let's take a look at this. So I've just got euro dollar, very, very common pair that people will trade. You can do this on pound dollar, you can do this on Aussie dollar. Go and test all you want and you can come back to this video. So if we just look at, like right now, we've just had some of our biggest months in July, like huge months. We've just hit 10 mil on our funding. And we're just growing from strength to strength. Like I'm struggling to see what the issue is here. Like there's been momentum across the board. We had a bit of a corrective wave that dropped out. That you can even start it back all the way from really here, right? We've got a lot of volume here. We come here about what 1st of June, 2nd of June here, and since then you've got your very typical breakout, seeking this volume here. We break out, we get another pullback, then we break out again. We've just had direct movement, bar a tiny section of consolidation, and then we drop out, then we've got direct momentum, then we've got direct momentum, and it's highly likely going into August, which is when people have this myth, they think August is going to be an issue. Well, you might be saying, well, Mark, that's just here and now. Well, you just look back. Like I was looking through all of it. It just doesn't make sense to me why you think it would be effective to have that opinion. So if you actually look, we'll go all the way back. So we'll even start from up here. So we'll start from 2021, so August in 2021. And as you can see, direct movement. So bear in mind, I'm on the daily. So this is daily bias. Direct movement, tiny little pullback, and then we hit our first run, breaks that low. Then we get what? Direct movement again into September. And then we just flow after that. So we're getting direct movement across the board because there's no chance that you would say, let's say, for example, if we just go a little bit lower to... where are we at? March. Yeah, March. So if you're someone who says don't trade in Monday, don't trade on Friday, don't trade in December, are you also saying don't trade in March? Don't trade in March, right? And a little bit of April, right? It doesn't make any sense. And this is why when you get caught into that way of thinking, because you might be saying, well, yeah, the market just doesn't have as much volume, and you might have some data points to support somewhat of your argument. But traders trade the market, and what I'm looking at is a reflection of, well, how does the market behave on every single asset class? How does it perform? And even in a sideways market, like, by the way, just to clarify, I wouldn't look at this as an untradeable market. I wouldn't look at this as an untradeable market. It's just not as direct. It's more of sideways. Now, if you have a system that can play a lot of ranges, especially what we do, maybe it's system dependent. Maybe people say that because their system requires on a specific type of trend, And if the market moves sideways, they might have experienced some sideways movement, and that's where they get that idea from. But the reality is you can go back and test years of data and see that even in a sideways market, you can make money. So I think this is more of a system problem than a mentality. Like, the mentality actually comes from the system itself, which is unfortunate, but you guys have got to test your own data for however you trade. All I'm saying is that our experiences, August has been phenomenal. If we look here as well, so where are we at? June, so we start the momentum like early summer, so you don't want to take the summer off. This is where I think a lot of people fail. All I need from you is one summer of you guys locking in. You position yourself for Q4. The people that are slacking off right now, they're not getting ahead. And when Q4 comes around, they've got bad habits. They're not ready to make money in Q4 because, again, they've got sucked into these myths. So as you can see here, so we retest the back end of that area. We're at August again. So August starts, yeah, about there. So we get one little move up. So essentially, we finish that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, we retest the back end of that area, and for the rest of August, we get what? Direct movement. So I don't know about you, I don't see anything that's slow here. I don't see anything that's untradeable, because what you should be saying, if you were that bothered about it, you would go, no, do you know what? August is fine, don't trade in September. But you wouldn't say that, would you? Because you heard someone say don't trade in August, so you're going to stick by that narrative. It is rubbish, and it doesn't serve you. And if we look a little bit further, so then what do we get? So we're at November, December now. So it would be like someone saying, oh, we just don't trade in December. Why? Look, major volume, direct movement, tiny pullback, and then we move into we're into January at this point. But why would you not trade it? Like, you can see volume there as well. So price just seek that area. Just like how nothing's actually changed. It's wild to me how people just come up with these random things without looking at the data. Like, this is not my opinion. This is the data. This is fact. There is a difference between we have a difference of opinion based on our perspective. You can see, like, is it moving sideways or is it a direct movement? And I've just proved that to you. And if you go a little bit further as well, so we go to the next year. So we've gone year on year at this stage. And where are we at now? So we are at, we're just moving into the summer. So June, right? Summer periods. What have we got? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And where are we? July. And then August. So look, where's August start? So August is here. So so August is direct as well. So not only, and why is it direct? Well, I can go back to 101. I actually covered this exact thing in the mechanics in Falcon. So if you're interested in learning how to trade, we have this exact step by step. Like, this was part of the main part of the mechanics at the time. Phenomenal, right? For these exact reasons. So nothing has changed for us. But look, notice this. So you get your prior volume here, which again, April. Right, we sell off aggressively, lots of volume. We make a high, we leave a gap. We make a high to take out that high, but we leave a gap. We then eventually take that out. Where was that? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. This is where the bigger players are going to step in. And what's interesting about this is if you took the summer off, you would have missed out on all of that. Just because of some random myth. Think about how illogical that is. Stupidity. I don't even think it's ego at this point. I think it's just genuine stupidity to even have that way of thinking. So you got your phase 1, your phase 2, you got daily bias at this point, direct movement in July. It'd be like, oh, you know, because if you're taking August off, you're probably taking a little bit of July off as well, right? Because you're already prepping for that holiday for some strange reason. You don't get to dictate when the market shows opportunity, and the moment that you do that, you're finished already. So that's why it's just not an effective way for you to think. And look, we top out here late July into August, direct movement. Then we get our continuation, direct movement. We pull back, direct movement, and we just carry on into September. This is where we actually made so much money. And if I start going into some lower time frames, like the 4 hour, back then, this was brilliant. Like, every area. I think I've even covered this run on the channel in like some older videos. Look at where we are. Right, getting into, where did it start? Yeah, August. So you've got that V shape, sells off, and then we start our next continuation. Look at the volume. We move up, we take out that height. And even what you're forgetting as well, like, I'm just on the daily, you're forgetting about the direct moves, the phase 1, the phase 2, the up moves, the down moves, the up moves. Like, you can make money in all different phases of it. I tell you where it's harder to make money. It's harder to make money when there's no real structure to it. So like, an example would be something like this, be a bit trickier. So where are we? We're at September. Don't trade in September, guys. There was a little consolidation there. And as you can see here as well, these are harder because they're almost like sideways price action, but they don't really have any structure to them. So they're a bit trickier to trade. You then have to only rely on like retests and things like that. But when you've got clean structure, you can trade like sells, buys into the same area, sells, buys into the same area, sells. Like, it's so dynamic if you have a strategy that can deal with that, of course. So that was 2023. Let's move over to 2024. So 2024, so where are we at? August again. What do you notice? Do you notice any issues with August, or is it direct into the area of volume? Again, so if you took August off, what would happen? You'd have missed out on all of this. So you're starting to see the trend now where it doesn't really matter what month it is. There is opportunity everywhere. And you've just got to be the type of individual that is just consistently sharp. And where I see a lot of traders get caught off guard is by buying into some variation of these myths. Like right now, where are we? As we here, is that November? Yeah, into December, people have the same sort of thing. Again, just direct movement, tradable. Like, we've never had an issue ever. And even now, when I can see that a lot of the market are thinking, oh, the summer's a little bit slow for trading. Oh, is it? Don't think so. And what you've also misinterpreted is we're in a different environment right now. The market is never always the same. That's why I think you guys get this wrong. Trump is in power. That was always going to be a different year. Stock market, all-time highs, still roaring. Gold hitting all-time highs, now trying to find its range. So how can you believe that the market is always the same all the time? That's what I need you guys to do. Run the data, go back through, and just make sure this video is actually less about me proving to you that August is actually a fine month to trade, and more about that seed that you plant or you let someone plant dictates how you behave throughout the whole year. And you've not even tested whether it's effective or not. And I don't even need to know how you trade. All I can look at is DXY, Euro dollar, a few different asset classes, go and check August, go back 4 or 5 years and see every single year for the last 4 or 5 years, there is direct movement. So regardless on how you trade, whether you're a lower time frame trader, whether you trade on a higher time frame, there are moves there for you. If anything, you having that, you miss out on such a big portion of money. I think the reason why people do it, because you might be thinking, why do people do that then? Like, if it would be so obvious, these people that are straight up like nerding the charts, back testing every little leg you could imagine on all these different systems, yet they failed to highlight that, oh, I know I said that August is a bad month, but I ran the data again and August is actually fine. I don't hear those people talking about that. Why is that? Is because they want to believe this bullshit so much. It's the same reason why they won't place trades on a Monday. They think trading more than one asset class is stressful. That they just have all of these myths in their heads. It doesn't serve them. So it's time to wake up, get your head out of the sand, focus on the numbers, forget my opinion, go test it for yourself and see whether you are restricted in the way that you trade. Because I'm absolutely not. And I feel great knowing how to trade in any market cycle, any market condition, any asset class I like. That is true freedom of trading. So my final message to you is that you've got to work while others are not. There is a certain magic that when you're up late and you're putting in the hours and you're working while other people are sleeping, you get rewarded for that. The people that get up earlier before people have even, had their breakfast yet, they've already put in some hours of work. There is a certain magic and people get rewarded for that. It's the same when people are out partying, booking holidays and you're working. It's no different to the summer. So while everybody else is planning trips away and doing nothing, if you're locking in and you're getting to work, you will be rewarded. All you need is one summer. Lock in and see where your results are ready for Q4.